Another story now. The owners of an Indian restaurant in Edinburgh have apologised after serving a curry so hot that 2 people had to be taken to hospital. It was part of a charity competition run by the Kismet restaurant in Edinburgh. One of the people who had to be rushed to A&E said the experience was like being chainsawed in the stomach with hot sauce on the chainsaw. The Scottish Ambulance Service is furious that it had to send out paramedics to treat people who were doubled over with agonising stomach cramps. The particular curry in question goes by the name the Kismet Killer. The dish is made using 3 Naga Jolokia chilies, which are the hottest chilies in the world. They're 3 times more potent than cayenne peppers, which are the ones originally used to make vindaloo. So what is it about curry that makes some people want to burn their mouths out and condemn them to hours of painful visits to the toilet? Why is blasting your head off with a curry somehow proof of your manhood? I'm joined in the studio here by Ian Cowie, who loves hot curry, don't you?
Not half.
And Ian Cowie often visits the Kismet restaurant itself. I could also speak to, everyone here is appropriately named, Curry Kim. Not curry, but Curry Kim, who was one of the people who had to be taken to hospital after eating the curry. Let me start with you, Curry. I'm really sorry to hear about it. You were visiting from America, yeah?
Yes.
And you happened to see the restaurant advertising the competition?
Yep, my friend and I just popped in to have some curry because it was near my friend's dormitory, and we saw that.
And what did it say on the outside?
Well, it said Curry Queen King Contest, the hottest curry, and I've always liked eating spicy food, and, I got to know the owner there, and he said I should come by, and it's for a good cause, so I thought, why not?
Okay, and when you ordered it, did you just ask for the Kismet Killer, or did they just bring that, or what?
Well, they had 3 different rounds. The first 2 rounds consisted of just consuming 3 spoonfuls of the curry. The intensity went up as you went up the rounds, and the last round consisted of, whoever finishes eating the whole bowl first. And so I think ate about 7 spoonfuls, almost half a bowl of the last curry.
Okay. What did you feel as you ate it, Curry?
I really knew that I probably wouldn't want to have it in my mouth for too long because it would probably burn my tongue, so I literally just swallowed 6 spoonfuls at first. And I've never been in an eating competition before or any of the sort, so, I was trying to compare it with my past experience of being a competition, which is like swimming and cross country, so I thought it'd be, it'd be like a last spurt until I realized that probably is not a good idea, and that's when it started to hit.
And was it burning your mouth as you put it in?
It was, it was just burning my sinus system.
Yes, I know, yeah. And then you swallowed it, I guess, to get it out of your mouth, but then it starts to burn your tracts and your stomach.
Yeah, it's really not so much the mouth, but really your tracts in the stomach.
And what was that feeling like?
As I said, it's really like just having a chainsaw all around going up and down with really hot chili on it.
At what point did you realize you needed emergency hospital assistance?
I think it was 15 minutes afterwards when it really hit me.
And were the ambulances called?
It was, but apparently they were all occupied, so one of the paramedics actually drove me to the hospital the first time. But I don't think the folks at the hospital understood the gravity of my situation or my pain.
Oh, so you went... Yeah, go on, so tell us.
Yeah, so they didn't really give me anything, and they sent me back, and my friend, who also entered the contest but dropped out earlier, got really worried. And so he was being a good friend and taking care of me until around 9 o'clock. My pain just got really bad. I was rolling around, clenching onto my stomach in pain, screaming in pain. And I started hyperventilating, my fingers got paralyzed, so, my friend and my friend's flatmates got freaked out and they called the ambulance, so I got taken away for the second time, wherein apparently I honestly at this point wasn't registering anything because I could barely move, barely breathe, and, I couldn't move my fingers, I could barely keep my eyes open, and apparently they thought my name was Curry, and, they were poking fun at the fact that I had curry and that I passed out or whatever. So they obviously misunderstood the situation, but at least this time they gave me some medicine, like Pepto-Bismol, to deal with acid indigestion, and codeine to deal with the pain, and some antacid. So,
but more to the point, did you actually have the toilet paper ready in the freezer?
No, I didn't really have to deal much with the toilet. It was just all inside.
Okay, well, Ian Cowie, would you have
Call
walked
me
into...
Mr. Snacks, please. Mr.
Mr. Snax,
Thank
as you
you.
know, hot curry fan from Edinburgh. Would you have walked into this restaurant and eaten the Kismet Killer?
No, I've been there several times. The guy that runs the place, a charming guy, he likes sort of running the place with a fantastically live circus-type atmosphere, and he quite often has these, try your hand out at the hottest of curries. To me, that's like, as she said, it's like thinking in terms of a sport. When to me, curry eating is a way of life, and I do like a hot curry, but I certainly know where my limits are, because when I first moved from a medium buna I went up to a vindaloo, and a bit like our competitor there, I finished up having a sleepless night knowing exactly where that curry was travelling, and even more knew when it left. So beyond that, I thought I'd call that a day.
Oh, really? So even though you love your curries and you eat a lot and you're known as Mr. Snax, you're not a massive hot curry fan?
No, don't get me wrong. I like fresh chilies in my curry. I absolutely love it. But once you get beyond the level of, 500 or 5,000 Scoville units, you're starting to talk in terms of serious heat. And the reason why people go for these high chilies is because, effectively they're toxins. They poison the nerves, and what happens is the body naturally produces painkillers, endomorphins, and it's the release of these painkillers that actually give you a sense of pleasure. So it's a bit like a drug.
You were supposed to feel pleasure, Curie.
Not at all.
But it's interesting that they are toxic. I wonder whether any technically toxic anyway. I wonder whether a very, very hot curry could actually kill you. Did you get any advice on that?
No, I didn't get any advice on that. Again, I don't think the, folks at the hospital took it too seriously, so...
When you got your medicines, which was some painkillers and stomach anti-acid stuff and all that, did they keep you under observation, or did you go home, or what?
Well, they just gave me a huge pack and told me to go home and take them every few hours or so.
And how long did it take before you recovered from the curry?
So ever since my second visit to the ER via an ambulance, I would say it took me almost all of over the night, so about 10 hours.
Do you regret it?
Generally I don't regret my experiences because I think they're all a good learning experience. It's just, I started this off as a joke. It ended as a joke, but the process was a little painful. And I think I learned some good lessons, one of which is, seeing the winner, how that person had everything in 4 seconds and immediately went out and got everything out of their system by throwing up. I realized, you really have to be smart with everything that you do. You should never come in a naive way and just sit there and take everything like I did.
Interesting.
You should always have a smart strategy. Be smart about it, and everything in moderation is the way it should be.
Yeah, although we just discussed a man who ran Apple who did not do things in moderation, and that's why he was a great businessman. So I don't know how your thoughts fit into that, but anyway, I'm glad you're better.
Thank you. I think it's just a different story with eating versus other work.
with entrepreneurship. I'm sure you're right. Yeah. So Ian Cowie, is there a lesson here?
Well, I think the answer is, if you want to go for heat, you might as well just try sticking a soldering iron in your mouth. But seriously, though, curry's there to be enjoyed. There's a vast ranges in terms of flavours and textures that are around, and I'm delighted to say that many restaurants these days are offering authentic Indian food, predominantly ones that are cooked on the bone. You get maximum flavour without too much spice, and very much to be enjoyed.
But just one thought: why is it that particularly blokes in restaurants always try and up the hotness of the curry to show off to each other?
Well, it's like
prove something.
To prove that they can actually handle something that a lot of people can't, and for a lot of people it's a challenge, but the end results, as has been proved, are not exactly pleasurable.
Thank you very much indeed, Ian Cowie, aka Mr. Snax, hot curry fan from Edinburgh, and well done, Curie Kim, who took part in the hottest curry competition and actually managed to survive the night at least. Do tell us about the hottest curry that you ever ate, and why it is that blokes in particular can't resist getting hotter and hotter.